Hey guys, welcome back to Here We Mow again. I'm Jeff. So we just came back from vacation and I haven't mowed the lawn in almost 2 weeks. I'm freaking out a little bit because it's a little long and a little thick and I need to take care of that. So that's what we're gonna do today. So I'm not sure if you guys can see this or not, but I have a couple blades of grass here that are over 6 inches tall. This one here is almost 7 inches. Maybe if I put this over here, you can see it a little better. But in any event, this grass is very shaggy, very thick, and I need to cut it back. Typically this time of year, I'm mowing at about 3.5 inches for my height of cut. And this year I am gonna overseed in the back here. So I am gonna try to bring this down. Eventually I wanna have it down to about 2.5, maybe 2 inches, because you wanna have good seed to soil contact, but that's a gradual process. You can't go from 3.5 inches to 2 inches right away unless you do multiple cuts. And being that my grass is so tall and so thick right now, I'm gonna have to bag this. So generally I like to mulch my clippings, and I do like to return that to the soil. It does break down and has a lot of good nutrients in there. It's great for the soil, great for the grass. But when it's super thick like this, and I am trying to bring it down a tad, mulching is just gonna create more problems than it's worth. What I would suggest is that you bag it, as long as you have a place to put it. You know, keep in mind that there's going to be a lot of grass clippings, so you have to have a compost pile or a plan for that. That is the nice thing about mulching, is that it just goes back on the grass. You don't have to worry about it. But if you're going to bag, make sure you have a place to put it. So that's our plan for today. We're going to bag these clippings, and I'm going to show you how I do that. So the first thing you want to do if you're going to be bagging is to put your mulch cover on. So in this particular mower, I just have this up right now to go in the shed, but that typically is down, and then this area here, you cover this up with a mulch plug, and it just makes sure that the grass clippings in there stay in a little bit longer, get mulched up nicely, and they don't get shot out the side. Now I do want to say that I suggest that you invest in some good mower blades and make sure they're nice and sharp, especially if you're going to mulch. These have been sharpened fairly recently, so they're in pretty good shape. And these mower blades are specifically designed for mulching, so it tosses the grass back up and cuts it one more time while it's under there, and that's good for getting the mulching done. And the other thing that I suggest is that you go a little slower, because if you're going to be mulching, all the grass clippings are going to stay under the deck, and it's going to make the engine work a little bit harder. So just don't go so fast. Go a little slower and let the blades make sure it gets a good cut on the grass. So I know some of you guys might be asking why I'm putting a mulching plug on if I intend on bagging. And the reason why is because if you don't put this on, the grass clippings are going to shoot out the side, and then they're going to get all over the lawn. And you want to make sure that they stay under the deck so that they can go up into the bag. And we're going to connect that in a second. So the next thing that I definitely suggest doing is getting your tape measure out and just measure where your height of cut is going to be. You can't always go by the numbers on the mower. For example, this riding mower has an adjustment here, and it goes from 1 to 4. Here's 3 right here, and here's 4, and it's set right in the middle. So you would think that would be 3.5. However, if you go over here and get your tape measure out and measure from the bottom of the grass to the top of the mower deck, which is right at that lip right there, it's actually exactly at 3 inches. So that's a pretty good height. I'm going to keep it at that. May actually go down 1 notch, but the moral of the story is make sure you check it, because if you just look at the numbers here, you would think that would be 3.5 inches, when in reality it's 3 inches. So just check your height of cut manually. So I actually just lowered this to the 3 setting here, which again, you would think that would be 3 inches. And if I check that on the tape measure over here, that's definitely not 3 inches. That's about 2.5. So that's actually a little too low for what I'm trying to do today. So I'm going to bring it back up to the 3 and 1 notch setting over here, which again is exactly at 3 inches, which is going to be a good setting for today. I'll bring this down a little bit at the next cutting, but given that it's so high and so thick today, I really don't want to go any shorter than 3 inches right now. So what exactly is my plan to collect all these grass clippings? Well, take a look at what I have attached here. So what I like to use when I'm picking up the grass clippings is a lawn sweeper. I have used baggers in the past, and a bagger would actually mount right here, right behind the seat, and they work okay, but they tend to get clogged, especially if the clippings are very thick or if the clippings are wet. A lawn sweeper actually has these bristles right here that sweep up the lawn, and then it goes into this big bag, and that bag there holds 22 cubic feet. Trust me, you're not even going to be able to fill that up, because that is a lot of material. I've gotten that about 3/4 of the way full, and you can tell it is very, very heavy. So usually I'll dump that once or twice just so that it doesn't get too heavy. But we're going to go ahead and start mowing the lawn, and you'll see how nice that works, and it sweeps them up into the lawn sweeper really nicely. Makes the lawn nice and clean. Just make sure you put your safety goggles on. Trust me, I've scratched my eye before. You do not want to do that. So always make sure you put either sunglasses or some type of safety goggles on when you're cutting the grass, and especially when you're doing edges. Looks like the pears are just about ready. Some nice Bradford pears, fresh from the tree. I just finished the backyard, and you'll see that this is only halfway full with grass clippings, but I can tell from driving the riding mower that it is very, very heavy. So I typically only go halfway full on these. Otherwise, it doesn't tend to pick up the grass as well, and I'll show you why. These bristles down here, they spin and they throw the grass up to here, but when there's grass all covered in here, it's not going to be able to throw it back as much. So if you have it more than halfway full or more than 3/4 of the way full, it's just not going to do as good of a job picking up the grass. Plus, it's going to be super heavy and put extra stress on your mower. So I suggest you empty it halfway. Well, this is 2 loads from the grass catcher. And again, I can't stress it enough, make sure you have someplace to put this grass. Now, I just put this in my compost area. I will spread this out along the riverbank here. It provides some good mulch. And generally, I'll use it in my garden area too. Although right now, I don't think I need any. Everything's growing so well, there's really not a lot of room for any more mulch. And just a quick tip on this grass catcher. When the grass is as long as mine was today, you're going to want to go over it twice. The problem is that this grass catcher works best when you're going fast, because it really spins those wheels underneath and gets that grass moving really quickly into the bag here. However, when it's so thick, you really can't go too fast because it's going to clog the underneath the mower deck. So I typically I'll go slow and steady at first, and then I'll do a second pass and go fast, and that makes sure that it gets everything off the lawn. And I think it did a pretty nice job. What do you guys think? Another thing that I like about the grass catcher is that it really lays down some nice stripes, because the bag that fills with the grass at the back is laying down on the lawn, and that's causing the blades to fold over. So that causes a nice striping action. You just have to remember which way to mow back and forth as you're going along. But take a look, it really does a nice job. So I definitely broke the 1/3 rule, going from about 7 inches down to 3 inches. However, like I said, we came back from vacation. I hadn't mowed the lawn in about 2 weeks, and sometimes you have to do what you have to do. But like I said, by using the grass catcher and going over it twice, it actually came out quite well, and I laid down some pretty nice stripes in the meantime. So problem solved. Well guys, thanks so much for joining me for another episode of Here We Mow Again. I'm Jeff. I appreciate you coming back every week for these episodes. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn the bell icon notification on. And come for the next video, because we have some more exciting content to come. I hope this was exciting and interesting, and I hope to see you guys again soon.